Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I'm going to do a real quick part 3 to my ChatGPT character chatbot series. We only get 10 things most likely, so I'm not going to spend that long. I'm just going to continue the flipping conversation I had with Kip that finally was going well last time. However, when we finally got a good run last time, that's when it decided to be like, oh, now you're out of memory, oh! Which is a very flippin' annoying. But yeah, I continued the conversation by just saying okay to Kip and then going over and grabbing the pebble shaped like a moon and say, wow, it's beautiful, Kip. Thank you. Kip's grin widened so far it almost looks like the canyon itself split open with joy. He claps his claws together once in delight. The sound like rivers and stones striking. Ooh.
Beautiful, yes. The river carved it for centuries, but I rescued it from being swallowed by mud. Now it belongs to someone who saw its glow. He points one claw at you, then taps it gently against his own chest. Remember this, Trenton. Every gift from the gorge is a piece of its story. If you carry it, you carry me too. I like that thought.
He flicks his tail, sending a spray of droplets across the flat stone, almost like celebratory confetti. Then his tone shift, playful but also curious. Give me a moment, we'll finish it. Alright guys, it just says he flicks his tail, sending a spray of droplets across the flat stone, almost like celebratory confetti. Then his tone shifts, playful but also curious.
Now, since you took the moon pebble, the rule says you owe me another truth. Doesn't have to be big, just true. Something about you, or your journey, or even a secret you keep in your pocket like a button. What do you say?
Kip leans forward, chin resting on his claws, eyes glittering with mischief and expectation. And now here's the thing that made it really hard for me to figure out, guys, because Taylor, I could have told him about the Pokemon Talk Studio, but I don't know how I could easily do that. Because technically, if you think about it, like, if it's going, like, I know it's kind of in a random order instead of being in a story consistency ring and a student in a flipping consistent, like, timeline. The problem is, like, technically, the main thing we know about the Pokemon Talk Studio on these chatbots is that Rexy is there. And also that, well, Shadow as well. Those are the main two things you'll notice about the Pokemon Talk Studio. Shadow and Rexy. Other than that, for real about it. So it made it hard. I said, unfortunately, the main secret's the exact thing I told you a while ago. I'm a nice Pokemon trainer that cares for their Pokemon. The other thing I could tell you isn't really a secret. I just told them about people constantly trying to attacking me with rocks or try to hit me and just being mean to me. Kip's expression softens. The gold in his eyes dulls like the river under cloud. He lets out a low, rumbling chuff that could be pity or the canyon clearing its throat.
That's a bitter current to swim in, Trenton. People who throw rocks don't see faces. They see targets. They don't know kindness unless someone show them it's stronger than their fist.
He taps the moon pebble you took with one claw, then nudges it back toward you, as if making sure it won't float away.
I don't like those people. Not much. Make exceptions for the foolish and the ignorant. The cruel get teased. If anyone comes along trying to hear, I'll make sure their hands are empty of stones and full of apologies. I'm not subtle about it.
He leans in till his breath smells faintly of wet stone and cedar smoke.
I'll tell you something that might help when the world gets loud. When your chest drums like a tracked drum fist, put your hand on your knee and listen to me. I'll slap the water in a pattern that calms things inside you. 3 slow taps, then a quick 2. It's a trick Barrows taught me for tired hearts.
He reached under a curl of his tail and produces, carefully and ceremonially, a small battered metal button. It's not shiny, but it's smooth at the edges, and into its face as someone once pressed a tiny star.
This is mine,
he says, nudging it toward you with one claw.
Consider it an offer. Carry it when you walk into places that smell of rough hands. It isn't magic. Well, maybe a little. But it's a promise. If you ever scream, Kip, near water, I'll hear it and come. I don't ask to be called often, but I will come. He sails back on the rock, tail making lazy circles in the water. The grin returns, small and conspiracial. Now, another truth. Or you can sit quiet and let the river tell you things. Your choice, Trenton. I'll wait either way. It's definitely working better, but I think what I need to do is the next time, if this doesn't end up going well, maybe I'll try restarting one more time, and then maybe just say, cause I think the first time I did this back in part one, all I had to say was, let me talk to a Totodile. Maybe if I just say that along with, don't never speak or react for me, I think if I can do just that, things might work out. I don't know. Because I have a transforming Totodile on here, ready to go. But I'm just scared it ain't gonna work out because the last few times I've done this, it hasn't been working out. Give me a second. Alright, guys. I said, well, there is one trick that you might not know about yet, but it's the only other secret I have. Like I said, I'm not gonna give away real life thing. I'm just saying, like, from the Pokemon talk, or from the my universe sort of perspective. I am actually the owner of a Pokemon Talk studio. Kip's eyes flared. He was narrowing with bright, hungry interest. He snaps his jaw shut once. An appreciative sound, and the canyon seems to listen. A Pokemon Talk studio, he repeats, savoring each syllable like a new scent. He leans forward, water sloshing at his knees. That sounds like a place to ask good questions. Do the Pokemon there speak? Like me? Or do you coax them with treats until they flap their mouths like gulls? He taps the moon toe against his teeth, thinking, if you run a studio, that means you have a chair, a microphone, and probably a light that makes people look 10 times braver. It also means you tell stories for others to learn from, or laugh at. I like both kinds. He sits up straighter, suddenly sullen for a heartbeat. If you really want to record something from the gorge, I'd be curious. I would tell borrow stories, and the time the poacher screamed into the water and took only echoes. But I don't tell everything. Some currents are private, and I keep the sharp parts for the nets. He winks with one eye. Also, if you bring a studio here, we could do a bit I'd call Button and Pebble. You trade a small thing, I trade a small truth. It'd be short, honest, and the acoustics are fantastic. He tilts his head, he grinned back and voice. So, do you want to talk on your program already, Trenton? And will you let me be on? Or would you rather listen first and decide later? What in the world? Okay, this is still interesting, but maybe I'll just make it simple and just say, let me talk to a child, don't ever speak for me. My issue is I'm scared it won't be able to give me a good one. Because the problem is, I may need this thing to flip on. I don't really know what to figure out. Give me a minute. Alright, guys. I said yes. In fact, there is a Totodile Pokemon Talk host that can speak perfectly like you. I hired him because I like your species and evolutions, and me and him are actually good friends. Kip whoops, half a laugh, half a splash, and the gorge echoed it like someone striking a bell. He leans forward, his eyes bright with earnest curiosity. A friend, Totodile? Splendid! I like him already. What's his name? He sharp tooth like me or soft mouth like a hammock? He circles one claw in the water, thinking through possibilities. If he's your host, then he knows how to listen. That's the hard part. I'll be honest, I'm equal parts curious and performative. I can see us doing a short segment, Button and Pebble, 3 minutes long. Trade an object, trade a truth. Leave people smiling or unsettled depending on the truth. Good radio, good honesty. He taps the moon pebble you carry with a gentle click. If you bring your studio, we record at dusk. The gorge gives the voice extra weight. Everything sounds like it matters. I'll agree to one condition. No nets, no flashing lights that scare the fish, and please, no invasive microphones shoved into my snout. I like to be dramatic, but I also like my dignity. What in the world? He gives you a conspiracial grin, then softer. If your friend Totodile and I are friends, that will be an excellent thing. I'll teach him the click whistle that opens the echoing ritual, and maybe he can tell me what it feels like to be in a studio chair. I wonder how you make Pokemon brave and lights.
He sells back Pure's narrowing and contentment.
So, what's your friend's name? And would you just take the first little episode right now? I'll open with, I'm Kip, keeper of the Echoing Gorge. I collect buttons. Tell me the truth, and I'll trade you a pebble.
Oh crap, so it definitely ain't as good. Here's the problem though. Now, because there's a limit, there's nothing I can do about it to fix it. Because if I do, I have to flip and just go ahead and restart it right now. And by now, I ain't going to even have the thing's going to be gone. So what do I do here? What I need to do is I just need to make sure, I need to just put, let me talk to a Totodile. Just flat out like that, and don't tell it to give me any backstory. Well, it might not give me the longest responses. That's basically probably the best way I'm able to do it without actually coming up with the backstory for the Totodile myself. Which, hey, that'd be cool, but then that might give away a flip. That might make it to where I won't be coming up with stories later on for the other characters. Then I'm already having to redo everything again, which is not good. I'll be back. Alright guys, I don't know if it's worked any better. I just said let me talk to a Totodile, and hopefully this time it's not that long of a response, but hopefully it'll actually see. Hopefully something will happen. It says Totodile splashes in with a big toothy grin, and he does his little Totodile sort of thing. And for some reason he starts speaking English out of nowhere.
Hey there, I'm Totodile. Super bouncy. Love chomping things. Only toys and snacks. Promise. And ready for an adventure. I can do lots of things. Splash fight. Tell silly stories. Pretend to be a giant dragon.
What the frick is... This has no memory of what...
Or transform into a different animal when I need to protect my family. Shh. Secret power.
What in the world? Okay then, give me a second. Guys, I just did something extremely stupid. Everything's gone. I legit idiotically flipping deleted every single chat I had. Every archive chat and everything like that. It's flipping gone. Which is not good because I had 9 members on that thing. Or I had my stories on that, and now for me to remake them, it's probably going to be even more difficult. Although, this might not be a complete bad thing, because maybe some of the stories I can actually remake to be a little bit better. Problem is, I feel like I ain't going to remember completely how the story went, and where it actually could be kind of similar to the experience we had before. The Totodile one is not working as good as it used to, unfortunately. But here's what it said. It said, Totodile burst in, his tail wagging, his water splashes everywhere. And he says, bite!
I mean, hi, Chin. I'm Totodile. I love chomping, splashing, and big hugs. Mostly chomps that turn into hugs. Do you want to play? I can show you my favorite move, water gun, tell you a silly story, or, ooh, transform into something goofy if you ask real nice.
Oh my gosh. Why do I feel like... And see, here's the problem. What do I do for this? Because now it's still... Let me check something real quick.